Join us once again as Benjamin Sisko blows off some steam in the very best free fire PvP zone the galaxy has to offer here on Peter Please. A file visit to Bajor. My name is Joseph.
You know, with all the bad weather outside, the high heats, the warlike loom of wildfire smoke clogging everything up, maybe I'm in the shattered beer universe myself. I'm your co-host, Peter.
Now, Peter and I have had opposite weather-related problems despite being relatively close to each other in Ohio. You're suffering the consequences of Canadian wildfire smoke, and I'm suffering the consequences of flash flood storms.
We had the flash floods, too.
Oh, okay. You got them both? That's good.
I just professionally don't have to clean up the mess the way that you do.
Yeah, that's you know what?
It's a rough go over here, man.
It's going to be literally a problem for me in 24 hours, so we'll put that off and instead...
It's a Monday problem.
Talk about the residents of Deep Space Nine's problems as a pleasant distraction. What do you say?
I say that sounds good. I also want to say, as our view count blows up, thank you, Feral Historian.
Oh yes, indeed. He's about to come up a lot here on this Mirror Universe episode. Let me tell you.
Wonderful. Welcome. Anybody who's not familiar with the formula of the show, just a quick recap. Joe and I both love Star Trek. Joe's seen all the Star Trek. I, prior to the podcast, had really hyper-focused on Next Gen. Didn't see Voyager or Enterprise or Deep Space Nine, so this is my first watch on this stuff, and all the fun that goes along with that is yours.
So what episode of Deep Space Nine have you seen for the very first time this week?
Season 4, episode 20, Shattered Mirror. Well, first of all, did you watch Widow's Bay yet, Joe?
No, Peter, but I had legitimate reason. I was really busy, so I'm really sorry.
Shame.
All right. My city flooded. I don't know what to tell you.
My city flooded. Season 4, episode 20, Shattered Mirror. First aired April 22nd, 1996. Written by Ira Stephen Bear and Hans Beimler. Directed by James Conway. In-universe date is 2372.
So I said this is probably the best Mirror Universe episode a couple times before. I stick by that. I really like this. It actually caused me to go back and look at the one from season 3, particularly the scenes between Sisko and Jennifer. And this really is a fantastic entry, if solely for the fact that it finally ties off the defining trauma of Benjamin Sisko's life that is the very opening of the show, the death of his wife. The show has come back and touched on it on more than one occasion. It's how essentially he gets introduced to the prophets. This has already come up as it relates to his interactions with the Mirror Universe last season. And in a way, this kind of gives the character an on-screen opportunity to resolve what's left of his grief and his pent-up feelings as it relates to what happened to his wife. And it's great for that. But more than that, it's a great Jake episode.
Yes.
He is the perfect person to bring into this at this point, because he's young enough that you can definitely buy into how it is that he gets taken in by Jennifer, and also old enough that he's not like a total victim. He's making some choices here and he knows it. And he's not like completely naive either. Like there's a certain level of naivete. So it's like, this looks like my mom, acts like my mom, sounds like my mom, and I'm kind of treating her like she is, but he's always aware that she isn't. And there's a new Feral Historian video I'm going to get into in a second after you're able to kind of give your initial thoughts that I think adds an additional layer of texture to this that I find fascinating. But what do you think of this?
It was good. I want to front load all of my criticism and just get it off my chest now so I can unburden the rest of the podcast with it. Great episode. And I like the fact that the Resistance Alliance of the bad guys, are the Resistance, is that what they're called? The humans?
Yeah, the Terran Resistance.
That we get to skip over what that uprising looked like on the station. You know, we didn't need to see that series of bad gunfights and expensive CGI battles. The notion, what's our timeline here? They have the uprising. Kira gets captured. Garrick escapes, goes find our new entry into the Mirror Universe roster, Worf, right?
Correct.
What's his name?
Regent Worf.
Mm-hmm. To be supervised by Lord Gowron under Pontifex Kahless. Pontifex Ron Moore. That's some vampire humor for you guys. What, 2 weeks? A week? A month? At the absolute most?
It's been a year since Sisko was there prior.
So was that like, I didn't rewatch the other episode. Did Sisko leave in the middle of the uprising?
No, it definitely was he's kind of planted the seed and organized the Terran resistance and brought Jennifer Sisko around because she was obviously the one that was going to root it out because she had this technological innovation they were going to use to destroy them, and then left after that. And over the course of the year, Sisko's interference with the Mirror Universe had led them to successfully continuing the rebellion and taking over Tarak Nor.
So how recent is the station victory?
It feels pretty recent by how it is things are phrased, but they certainly stay away from discussing exact timelines, probably for the best, because it's not important.
Minus the one thing, which is one I get to. So, like, what do we want to say? Like, a month? Because the task force that Worf is leading is like, what are those things called? Feklar cruisers?
Yeah, he's got a pretty big ship that he's coming along with.
He's got a couple of galores. He's got some birds of prey, but I mean, it's like 6 ships, it looks like, right? So I'm curious if there's a major military engagement elsewhere in the Alliance that is tying up their resources, that it would take them this long to come out and put down what appears to be a pretty significant rebellion, right? And you're telling me in this time, a month, 2 months, even 3 months, and realistically, it should be about 2 weeks until Worf would have a force out of there, that these guys are able to build a functional Defiant. And it's such a centerpiece to this fucking episode. It is the linchpin of this episode. Ben Sisko is here explicitly to make them go.
Correct.
Right? And you're going to take the Defiant, which is hyper pinnacle tech from the post-scarcity utopia of a functional, height of its power Federation Starfleet. And you're going to tell me that Hogan's heroes were able to cobble this thing together with chess pieces and spoons or whatever Shawshank Redemption shit they had available to them.
I mean, I can bridge they show the scaffolding that they were using as a sort of bargain basement Utopia Planitia space dock to build it around, and it's just a straight up like copy of from the schematics that O'Brien stole, and they currently possess Tarak Nor, so they have industrial replicators. So one presumes they just, they did the cheap Chinese copy thing, right? Like they just industrial espionage from the Federation and just built it exactly the way it was laid out, up to and including all of the markings on it that are on the Federation version, even though none of them make sense.
I'm not going to say it stopped me from enjoying the episode, but it is a ridiculous again, that peak Federation tech was replicated by these guys with, and the Alliance across the board has to be technologically inferior to the Federation.
Yeah, and I definitely see your point, right? Particularly on weapons.
I think like,
how do you have pulse phasers and quantum torpedoes?
Yeah,
I don't get it,
because you can't replicate that stuff, right? That's
right.
Part of the. And I think the easy way to have fixed that would have been that the ship was built in secret away from Deep Space Nine, and they could fly it. They just couldn't fly and fire.
Right, they couldn't fight. They power it all the way up. They do a good job of saying it has the same problems as the Defiant did in season 3. So it's like, okay, I can buy that.
And I want to say it's a ramrod, but it is certainly a rough patch. And now that I've gotten that off my chest, it is absolutely fucking ridiculous that these guys could have the Defiant again that they built at Auschwitz, right? So had they assembled this thing in the Briar Patch, taken the station over, relocated it there, and it was all part of the plan of like, okay, we can get this thing up and running, but we'll get Sisko over there and okay, whatever. I'm ready to talk about the episode now. unless there's any of this criticism you'd like to jump in on.
No. I mean, I agree that it's a bit of a stretch. It is something they sort of make work to make the episode happen. And like you said, it's not very well explained. There are no timelines. They avoid doing that. I think they know because it's a stretch, because they want to get to the point of it anyway.
Because also, if I'm going to use any of this in the greater cosmology of the show, like, okay, if Hogan's heroes at a death camp could put together a Defiant, then why can't Benjamin Sisko and Federation Legit Resources also build these things at Deep Space Nine? And all of a sudden there's 6 Defiants.
Well, I'm about to maybe give you a reason why, and it comes from, in fact, our good friend, friend of the show, dare we say, Feral Historian?
Dare we? Yes.
Dare we say. He just put out a video a couple days before we're recording here entitled "The Mirror Universe is Not an Alternate Timeline." And I'd encourage you to watch this one. There are no spoilers in it, thankfully, in terms of stuff that you haven't already seen, because really it goes into Discovery and Enterprise Mirror Universe, which you've seen. So we're good there. But his theory, and I believe it is 100% accurate, is that the Mirror Universe is not like some sort of version of events, except, everyone has got like an inverted morality or different, or like a butterfly flapped its wings and things were different. It's actually, you have to take the idea of it being a mirror universe more literally. It is a psychological reflection of the Prime Universe. It's dependent on the Prime Universe. The versions of everyone in the mirror universe are the negative pathos versions of the actual characters as we have seen them. And that is why everything is suspiciously parallel, despite the fact everything is dramatically different.
We said as much in our own review, gosh, I don't know if it was Deep Space Nine or Enterprise, that there's too much in common that does not make any sense. Why would Miles O'Brien and Julian Bashir be way out in the middle of nowhere? There has to be something about the Prime Universe, that it is a comet and the Mirror Universe is the comet's tail chasing the events of what we're seeing in main Star Trek. Otherwise, it's impossible to accept any of this as reasonable. And
Farrell kind of added a lot to, I think, what we started kind of espousing when we were considering these options. I think, it was the first Mirror Universe episode in season 2 when we were talking about that. And because there was a lot of Bashir kind of working through the logic of what was happening, that kind of caused us to have that conversation as he was talking to Smiley. But the way he put it is, when you think about who is Sisko is, instead of being a aggressive but effective military leader, is a fucking pirate, right? And this, it is just given over to his pathos. Who is Kira? Instead of this freedom fighter, who abhors violence but has to use it as a tool and is trying to make peace with some of the things that she's had to do, is instead fully embracing not only monstrosity but sort of like this sort of decadent degeneracy as a coping mechanism. The Ferengi are all kind of like cartoonishly inversions of themselves, including Nog in this episode, right? The most moral of the actual Ferengi is the most immoral of them here. And so on and so forth. And so like the idea that they are able to build a Defiant because they literally stole the plans from the original universe somehow more easily than they would otherwise be able to, because of this sort of we'll call it sub-psychic connection instead of subconscious connection. Like there's something to that they were just able to do it because it already exists in the Prime Universe. And also an element this isn't touched on in Farrell's video, but I think this episode made it clear to me. There are exactly two characters from the Mirror Universe who act more like their counterparts in the Prime Universe than anyone else. And it's Jennifer Sisko and Smiley O'Brien, who are the two who have been to the Prime Universe. The only two Mirror Universe characters we know have been at this point to the Prime Universe. And I think they act more like their quote real counterparts because they've been to that universe and it's left some kind of connection with their real selves, their non-mirror selves, that makes their personalities more aligned, which is why Smiley is more genuinely a good leader and seems just kind of like Miles, except a little more gritty. And Jennifer, as this episode kind of shows, is more and more like the Jennifer that Benjamin Sisko and Jake Sisko knew as time goes on. And I think his theory is amazing, and it's well worth if anyone here somehow hasn't watched it, that you're one of the few people who are a V'ger Please fan who wasn't a Feral Historian fan. Bless you, go watch it. And I think that video explains this episode perfectly.
I mean, that's all reasonable.
Yeah, and I think like in particular with Jennifer Sisko's plot of how connected she feels to Ben. And the interactions they've had previously, the fact that she went over there, and as time goes on, really what we see is she just becomes more like the Jennifer from the Prime Universe, up to and including sacrificing her life for her son at the end, because that's how she sees it by that point. It just comes together real nice.
The hard part to this theory, if by going into the Prime Universe as a Mirror Universe resident, it's knocking the grime off, right?
Yeah.
Either it is enriching you with Prime Universe reasonableness, or it is shedding the grime that the Mirror Universe cast on you, right? And you are seeing, like, that's the hardest part of all. It's like, man, it fucking sucks where I'm from, and I don't really have strong ties to family, and like everything's just miserable. In some cases, comically so. I'm the downtrodden underdog of the society. You know, I'm the slave, whatever. I could be living like a spaceman king. And I'm going to say, no, I'm going to go back home for more bloodshed. Like, that's one of the ridiculous parts of this is you wouldn't be like, hey, we're going to set up the Underground Railroad, and we're just going to use my handheld technology that I have. I can set on the transporter pad, and we can now freely beam between time and space. And we're just going to take everybody from this torture camp we live in and just put them all in the lap of luxury. Oh, you've got a big threat coming? You might need some help?
There did need to be some spackle at some point in these episodes that made it so that was a foreclosed possibility, right? They actually kind of do that in Discovery with the Emperor eventually. Another example of this theory actually holding up. I'm sorry,
she falls apart. And that,
because
God, I don't want to talk about Discovery.
Yeah. So like the spackle they use in Discovery ultimately is that the distance between the universes becomes so large and they travel through time, and the combination of those two factors make it so that the Emperor literally cannot exist where she is, and there has to be a resolution to that. If there was something in this that said we can visit, but like we're not supposed to be here and you're not supposed to be here, and after enough time, like your cells desperately want to go back to where they belong, so it always has to be temporary. If that was just said in a couple lines at some point, then you've solved that problem, right? Like, yeah, they can interact. Yeah, like Sisko can go and have a holiday where he gets to like blow up Klingons
Vacation.
for free. You know, have free fire PvP zone, get out of his system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Smiley can show up and steal some tech. Maybe have some. Jennifer can have some coffee, meet her son. But it's never something that can last, right? And that A, solves that problem. B, adds more tragedy to some of this, right? Like that Jennifer Sisko could never really be the real Sisko because she's not the real one. The real one's dead, and she's kind of like this leftover echo in a different part, in a disconnected universe.
Also, hey, I've seen what things can be. I desperately want it. Tragically, I can't just run away, and if I want this world, I'm going to have to fight for it.
Right.
I'm going to have to trust the people next to me. And it lets the Federation do what Berman era and Roddenberry era Federation is supposed to do, and it is be a beacon of hope for a better tomorrow that inspires.
Right. And
There's a microcosm, or just a quick review of the Dominion threat is that our way of life is so good that is a alpha level threat to all fascism, and it's doing the same. It's doing to the mirror universe what the Dominion's afraid of, and that is making people rise up and fight for that good tomorrow.
let's start talking about the episode. Again, good to see Jake. Jake is so welcome a presence on this show at this point that when he has an episode, I'm excited, right? Like I don't think I've ever disliked a single Jake Sisko entry.
What's the last time we really saw him in was Homefront, Paradise Lost?
Yeah, that I mean, and he's a pretty big factor in those. And it was really smart to bring him into those. He's very briefly in, Little Green Men and Indiscretion. He has a B plot.
Surprised he's not in Bar Association, given how close he was with Nog and probably by extension Ram, and his persuasive abilities and all the Dabo girls, and certainly sympathy he'd probably have for them and like their terrible contracts. No, we saw him in Hard Time, and he was great in Hard Time when he was helping recover Miles O'Brien learning how to use space tools again.
Yeah, he's only in this season been in obviously The Visitor, where he's a big factor, but he's not actually playing. Jake is in that episode, but Sherlock Lofton is only playing him for the first like third of it or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's really just a side character in Indiscretion, Little Green Men. He's more of a main character in Homefront and Paradise Lost. He's got one scene in Hard Time, and he's far more of a focus in this episode. The very next episode we're watching, The Muse, is actually a Jake focused episode specifically. And that's basically it for the season. So he's like at almost Garrick levels of showing up, despite being a titled main character in this season. But every time it's been well used. And, he's kind of lamenting the absence of his friend Nog. He's got some writer's block. He's not quite sure what he's up to these days, and goes back to his quarters to, continue on with his day, see his dad. And lo and behold, there sits a woman who looks exactly like his mother. Hell of a way to start your evening. And sure enough, it is in fact Jennifer Sisko from the Mirror Universe who has come to give Ben Sisko some good news.
Wind this all back, Joe. We'll go right back to the beginning. What the fuck do they have this poor kid wearing?
This is some Cosby Show level weird stuff. It's kind of got like the sort of discount African King Neelix style thing, except in this case it's a little more on the nose.
It's like half Neelix, half something Prince would have worn.
Yeah.
Soft lavender, long sleeve. Like, I can only imagine he's sitting in his...
This feels like something that was like a reject from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes. Like if you took something DJ Jazzy Jeff was wearing and something Will Smith was wearing, and then you two-vixed it together.
Yeah.
Like, was Chirac sitting there and they brought in, he had to be like, man, come the fuck on. What?
You put me in this full bullshit.
Did he somehow wrong the costume department? Was there just a prank that went way out of line and someone got
hurt? Did
Ethan
Ethan Phillips say he wouldn't wear it, and that's why Chirac Lawson had to?
They're like, well, extend the sleeves and bring the stomach down, I guess. I don't know. We got it. We got to get our money out. Terrible. This is peak awful Berman era civil. I think this is the worst thing I've ever seen on screen. That a main character, especially a main character, would wear. Like, this poor kid. Hey, this is the woman I told you about from the parallel universe. That's what Sisko says when he walks in. Like, so at this point, there is full disclosure, clearly, as Starfleet goes on these adventures that defy all reality. And again, I'm pulled back into like, what does civilian life on Earth look like? We just got a real healthy taste of it with Homefront and Paradise Lost. Maybe Jake has access to some stories that Sisko wouldn't, that most Earthlings wouldn't, most Federation citizens wouldn't. But I don't see Sisko violating top secret status on stuff to like give family info.
I think on this front he might. I could buy. This might not be wholly known by everyone in Starfleet, but like Ben Sisko's like, I do need to tell my son that there is a mirror universe version of his mom. Like I can't keep that from him.
I would absolutely keep that from him. If I'm Ben Sisko and we say that Starfleet is classified mirror universe as top secret, the last thing I would do is go, well, not only am I going to violate orders, which I am prone to do, to be fair. If only Admiral Layton had come at me the right way. Not only am I going to violate orders, I'm going to tell my son something that could potentially just haunt him for the rest of his life. Your mother is alive out there somewhere. Now, if it's not top secret, and this is stuff that's already being openly discussed, then I think that's a much more lubricated passage to have that conversation.
They don't touch on if any of it is secret or not. So it's fair to assume that at some level, this is known information, at least to people that have reason to know. I think regardless of that specific detail, there's a 0% chance that Ben Sisko doesn't tell his son this. First, his son's an adult now, and we've had some really good content of Ben Sisko having to reckon with the fact his son is an adult, i.e. be it a young one. And I don't think he could keep this from him. It's torturing him, right? But this is something he needs to know. Like, listen, I've had this experience, and who knows when this is going to come back again? And you need to know this is true, because you cannot be caught unaware. I do not want a circumstance where this is used against you because you didn't know. I think that makes a lot of sense too.
I knew this was coming because of the conversations we had when we first met Jennifer. I would have put my money that Jake went out of his way to go see his mother. There is a wounded, obsessive element to Jake that we really saw expressed best when Sisko got sucked into the warp core. And
the visitor. Yeah.
This was a guy who gave up his entire life and ruined everything to become an astrophysicist to try to save his dad. So I think there would have been a very viable way to have Jake be the one who initiated contact with the mirror universe, because he couldn't take it anymore. He knew his mom was out there. It's too much. And I mean, why wouldn't you? And that's the story I kind of wanted here, was the danger that the mirror universe and a lot of this weird space fringe science fantasy exists to the civilian component of the Federation, where it's like there is stuff out there that is so wonderful and seemingly good, and without the Starfleet training and, I don't want to say Starfleet morality, but the knowledge to know better, the Starfleet self-restraint, let's call it that.
Yeah.
That you can't go to the genie and ask for your heart's desire, because it's not going to end well. Like, these things always blow up in our face. You can't go to Q and ask him to fix your problems, because it's going to be some monkey paw bullshit. You can't go into the mirror universe and fish your mom out and hope that life can be happily ever after, because that's a whole barrel of piranhas over there that we don't want any access to. But that's not the way they play this thing out. His mom just has popped over NBD. She's checking in with Ben, and in comes Jake, and he's like, okay, well, I know who this lady is. Dad told me. Who could possibly be ready to see it in the flesh and blood?
I really liked the surprise. I liked how he reacts to it. I again, like the way that he looks at her and that she looks at him adds to the overall theory, I think, of, because Jennifer Sisko is now here in the real universe, this is the start of this sort of sublimation of her mirror universe personality with the real Jennifer Sisko personality. And at first, this has nefarious intent, as we will shortly find out. But Ben Sisko gets pulled away because he has to meet with some Bajorans as the emissary. Doesn't feel like he can get out of it. Leaves them to have dinner. Promises to come back. Gets done with the meeting. Comes back. They're gone. And there is the device that we have been acquainted with from the prior season that permits transportation through through the transporter to go to the mirror universe. And they quickly come to the conclusion Jennifer has taken Jake to the mirror universe, and she's left that behind as an invitation for you to join them.
I think the real look of surprise on Jake's face should have been like, wow, Dad, I'm pretty sure I've dated women who look older than Mom. Like, what's going on here exactly? Also, shout out whatever this wig is they have her wearing that looks like some Hammer Films Vampire Widow's Peak Dracula
it's
shit.
some wild shit. I don't know how to quite describe it.
Are we going to give Ben Sisko a pass on leaving his son alone with someone from the mirror universe where he knows like everybody is a liar and a shitbag? Like, I want to say yes because he's got the haze of love and what if and fantasy over his eyes too. But like literally everybody over there just lied to his ass nonstop and manipulated him. And for him to not even be like, that's cool, guys, I'm going to go to a meeting. Odo, can you just be a bag man? Can you be a bag laying on the couch and just in case? Just
yeah, I mean, I think it's naturally that Ben Sisko sees the face of his wife. He sees the look on his son's face and just wants to trust her. I just want to trust you. I want this to be what it looks like. I want you to be my wife. That was the whole thing about the prior episode, which is why I went back and watched all the scenes between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
He really wanted that to be true.
Yeah.
Desperately.
You know what? Then here's what I'm not going to give him a pass on. I'm not going to condemn him for not trusting her and leaving a security guard behind, but I will condemn him for not being like, yeah, I got a meeting, but as I just found out that it turns out the emissary has the power of God on Bajor, that I'm going to tell this guy, we're going to reschedule this for tomorrow. There is a dinner that I have to attend. It is.
I'm going to use a little bit of my my emissary privilege to just put this on a different day on my Outlook calendar, and you're
going to receive a holy rain check. Fuck off. I went to the mirror universe through the wormhole. That's how we got contact. There is something about the mirror universe that is probably strongly tied to the prophets. This is a divine event. I need to reschedule this as a holy holiday something. I don't go away. I got to make sure this broad don't kidnap my son and drag me into war crimes.
Or is he secretly like, I hope that he gets dragged?
Oh, yes. Which is the answer, because
yes, we have one scene where in particular where I think that's absolutely
the mask comes off when he turns around. He's like, who am I kidding?
Yes. Let's fast forward. It's too good, right? Like, all right, I built the ship. Smiley's like, cool, man, you can go. Right? Like he's in the clear. You're done. You can head out. It's good.
Smile's like, man, this thing's nice. I really wish I had a better chance to understand it because, we might just get rocked here, but I think we got to go. And he's walking away and he just stops. He's like,
just rolls his eyes back like, oh, you know what?
He doesn't even roll his eyes. He's just like, well, okay, if you're going to twist my arm. And Smile's like, I didn't tell you what.
Are you sure? He's like,
I guess if I'm going to go through all this hard work of fixing this thing up, you're right. I should be around to watch how it cuts through Klingon capital ships like a hot knife through butter so I can get data to bring home for my own refine. Like,
This is my own personal battle simulator, Smiley. Sit the fuck down. We're doing this for a while. This is the only chance I get to kill people and not feel bad about it, so let's go.
Blood on the holodeck just doesn't taste the same.
Yeah, I remember when I was here last year and I just was two-gunning people down. It was something else, man. So let me grease some Klingons. I've really wanted to do this for the last season. Haven't had a lot of chance to pop off since Way of the Warrior, so I'm gonna go ahead and take her for a spin. I'll show you how much you can do.
He's still salty with that lawyer who somehow tricked Ralph or Worf into punching him. That like he wants Klingon blood too.
Yeah.
He's like, living vicariously through Worf's violence isn't enough. I need to kill Klingon civilians.
It's like when we put together boot squads, and there's a guy who just lives for it, and you feel like you have to give him some reason to join you, but it can be just a very small one. Like you want like a fucking coupon to Golden Corral. Help me, we'll fucking whip this guy.
I like that. Okay, so Jennifer, and I'm air quoting, kidnaps. Because really what she's doing is just manipulating him. You should see it over there. It's crazy. Come on, we can pop over. We'll leave this thing out there for your dad. Well, I should tell him. He'll know. Like that's really the only, like, would Jake really be that responsible? He wouldn't call his dad and ask, right?
And that's where it's like it's still this mirror universe element to this version of Jennifer, where she's willing to sort of manipulate Jake, knowing how he's going to react to come with him. And the great, I will say, for the part of Felicia Bell, who's the actress here, we criticized her a lot.
Yes,
in the last episode, she's way better in this one.
Yes,
and I think like the way she just cops to it when Sisko eventually confronts her in the mirror universe to be like, "The fuck are you up to?" And it's like, "All right, I'm gonna tell you." And even early on in their interactions in the episode, she's already changing fundamentally, of like treating Jake like her son, feeling like he is her son, like starting to see the massive shift that her personality is undertaking.
I want to give some pushback here to this idea that the Prime Universe is physiologically changing the people from the mirror universe coming over. She knows that Jake is her son. 50% of his DNA is her. She can see herself in him. She loved her version of Ben Sisko, and here's a better version of Ben, a much better version of Ben. If you loved Mirror Universe Ben Sisko, just wait till you see Prime, honest integrity Ben Sisko, right?
All the violence, but also all of the cooking skills.
She has her best life being dangled over her head, and there's a puzzle piece that is missing in this picture that is her shaped, and she could just simply walk into it. So I'm not saying the Prime Universe will change Mirror Universe people at a magic level is wrong, but for her specifically, this is everything she could want. Low-hanging fruit. All she has to do is walk forward and take it. I absolutely understand, absent any of her historian's theory here, why she is doing all this and why she gets on board with being good as fast and low effort as she does, or lack of hardship for her. There's no hurdles to clear. This is perfect. That is your son. You see yourself in him. He is wonderful. Like, oh my God, I did such a great job in this other place. And it is so unfair for them that I was taken away because of space zombie attack or whatever. Certainly I know about tragedy. Like, we are made for each other. They had a tragedy. I had a tragedy, and we can just come together. All I have to do is stop being a piece of shit. And that is easy enough to do.
Completely agree. That is also a very fair reading. I think Smiley being dramatically different, despite not having any of this connection to his family in the Prime Universe, I think adds more to the theory that there's something beyond mere.
Sure. I'm just saying, like, her specific.
Your read on it is still, I think, perfectly in line with what we see.
I love that Ben Sisko's not playing games here, and he's like, okay, well, give me a phaser. I think there might be some problems waiting for us over there.
Bring my heavies. Let me bring my 2 murder bots.
Give me my MK Ultra, Colonel Burton, Command and Conquer Generals, fucking heroic commander. And I mean, it's the Trouble Twins, right? Because Kira's is it Kira or Dax?
It's Dax was left in charge of the station briefly. It would be Kira and O'Brien. He brought the Trouble Twins. It was going to.
I guess leaving Worf at home would have been the smart move.
He just wasn't. He wasn't there, right? Like we're just going. Worf's not here at the moment, so let's do it.
Yeah, but you know what? Kira's just as bad of a choice as Worf, though. I mean, those are both Alliance faces.
Yeah, but I love that they're ready to go. There's a fake Kira that's been there from the people are aware of that, so people would buy her being like the not evil version. I think a lot easier.
I'd like her if she was like hype, like I'm gonna go slap that bitch in the mouth. I got some pay. I would love to go, emissary. Yes, please take me on your holy vacation of violence.
we too love violence. Mm-hmm. Let's go commit some.
But they bounce. They're not on the IP whitelist here. Their MAC addresses are not compatible with this tunneling device, so they get kicked back, and it's Sisko transporting to Terek North through time and space, which again, these places are in wildly different places, right? Because one's over Bajor still, and the other is
near the wormhole, correct?
They pull his phaser and go, "Hey, cool, man. Here's the deal. We took over Terek Nor. It was great. It was a great fight. You should have been there. Really cool.
You'd have loved it. Thanks for killing so many people, by the way. It made it a lot easier."
Mm-hmm. I bet you're wondering why we called you here. It's because somehow we, the Hogan's Heroes, we built a spaceship, and not just any spaceship, your really hard to build super duper gunship spaceship. We built it at our Fallout 4 camp out of spoons and desk fans and.
In any case, it turns out
Institute laser pistols.
It turns out it's a little hard to get it to work exactly right. Would you help us? We'll let you and your son go before shit gets wild. And he's like, "You kidnapped my son." And Brian's like, "That's a awful way to put it." I kind of wanted to come anyway.
To define awful, evil Worf is coming with an armada, and they're going to be here in like 2 days or 8 hours or something. So we really got to go. Oh, this is a big deal. We're all going to die. Cool. Hey, turn off your firewall and let me bring over my dudes, and we can really get this fucking thing cooking. This is great. Like, the special effects budget's going to be hard, but boy, it just Smiley and Miles working side by, like, we are going to do some cool stuff here. And he's like, I appreciate the offer. Unfortunately, I saw you build a warp capable spaceship by hand out of lumber by yourself with no help. So I know you don't really need those people, dude. Sorry. And he's like, "Fuck, you got me." Okay, let's get this thing running. Go get me some 2x4s and deck screws.
We are introduced to some of our previous acquaintances from the Mirror Universe. Bashir comes in, is very aggro towards Sisko because last time Sisko stunted all the fuck over him, punches him. This version of Sisko kind of like gives him the single free pass and kind of stares into his soul and tells him that'll be the end of that and leaves. And Smiley even says, like, "I would not do that again. I would advise not unleashing the beast. I don't think that that's going to go super good for you."
What part of the stories we told you about when he just went off the fucking rails did you not understand, Julian?
Yeah, like the Sisko we know it's still in there. Like, you don't want it to come out. And Dax shows up and slaps him and is like, "You made love to me under false pretenses."
I think her character was way better than it was the last time. What do they call her? Does she even have a name?
They call her Dax.
So she has the
symbiote,
the slug.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about this. I this is the wrong time to talk about it. We were talking. I was listening to an episode. It was does Worf add something more here? It was one of the recent ones we put out. Maybe it was them training or something. And it's the one where it's like, hey, not only is because you said your friend conceded to the idea that Worf brings good stuff, right?
Correct. He's
And
already
part of
given up.
that is that not only do we get one good character, we get two good characters because Worf brings Worf and it brings Jadzia, right?
Correct.
He fixes that character. And as I was listening to that argument, I realized something that season 4, I don't think there's been a single time where Jadzia's been on screen and we've had to sit there and listen to stories about the good old days with Dax. This is the fundamental shift in her character, is that Worf's presence has freed her from the obligation of being the shadow of Curzon Dax, and it allows her to be her very own character that is doing new things, has her own agency, and it's not just an opportunity for Ben.
The exception of Rejoined, was in this season, where it wasn't Curzon, but it was prior Dax hosts.
Which is part of the symbiote thing. And I hate that fucking episode, and I don't want to talk about it. But even to that point, like, Curzon is not as invasive to it as was. And like, that was something that was really weighing on me with the Jadzia Dax character, was this, everything was Curzon. And it was disgusting. And I'm so happy that Worf has kicked Curzon out of the fucking room. I think
character. You're early on to something. Jadzia is much more the character now than like a side piece of her own character trying to cope with like the baggage that's come with what she's inherited. And now it seems far more integrated, and she seems more like the character they always intended her to be, which is, this is a part of me, but it is not me, and I'm something different. And Worf has allowed that to manifest in a way that's deeply improved her character every time she's shown up. I completely agree with you.
What I could have gone for in this episode, continuing the Jadzia needs Worf angle, is had it, instead of it being Nog that betrays them, that Jadzia is a Alliance mole and ultimately loyal to Worf, and like her to like go back as his sexy pet spy lady. I think that would have been a cool
that could have
twist.
been an interesting angle. Yeah. And I did like, though, that they used Nog and essentially,
well, we'll get to his little Benedict Arnold motherfucker.
So they're over there. Ben gets enlisted to fix the ship.
Zero hesitation. This guy,
like, fine, sure. I've already fucked with this place. Why not fuck with it some more?
The fucking biofilters or whatever that like filter out the flu and meningitis also remove all Starfleet rules about giving chimpanzees revolvers, essentially.
Like, listen, those rules are for our reality. There are no rules about the mirror universe. There's no prime directive about the mirror universe. This is a free fire PvP zone, and I'm gonna enjoy it. Like, that's the rule.
And
they've already fucked with, like, Julian and Kira fucked with it. Fucking Kirk fucked with it. The very first thing Kirk does is fundamentally change everything about it. Like, all the Federation has ever done is violate the Prime Directive here. That's like the mirror universe thing about the Federation while they're there. They just violate the fuck out of the Prime Directive every time they go.
That's why it's such a big deal when Kira goes over and they're like, you're supposed to be destroyed. Our standing order is to incinerate anything that comes over from there because it is never good for us.
And she's right. They should have done that.
Yeah, they treat us like just I mean, we're just basically a Counter-Strike server over here.
So the episode's pretty simple, aside from the like personal stakes for Sisko. Worf is introduced as a sort of cartoonish version of himself, of being the evil overlord. Garrick is presently serving as a imprisoned
salacious
advisor.
crumb.
Yes, like literally with a slave collar on. I love it. I do like the mirror Garrick and the way he's just a ostentatious toady, but there's still kind of like a version of Garrick in that. And Sisko's fixing the ship, and we're really seeing the slow process by which, like you've already said, Jennifer, whether it's because she's being affected by her proximity to the actual universe or merely because she's still human and sees, a man who could have been her son and a man who could have been her husband, and is feeling the closeness that will inevitably cause, and the turbulence in Sisko's emotions over this, right? Like, he does not, and I think this is actually a good thing. Jake is all in. Ben is very circumspect. Ben knows what this is. Ben knows what she is. It's not actually his wife. He's also already with Cassidy Yates, so he doesn't actually become intimate or close again with Jennifer in this episode. Does not cheat on his girlfriend with an evil version of his wife.
The fool.
And it's Jennifer who's like, oh God, like, now before I was the one being deceived. Now I've deceived you. And like you said, like, over the course of this, she's like, this is something really special. And ultimately when she goes to visit him on the Defiant and offers, like, I'm just going to take Jake back now and get him out of here, and is trying to, like, repair this relationship, because maybe she has this thought of, like you said, like, maybe I could just, like, slip into this. But Ben doesn't ever, like, accept it, which I think is smart, right? He's still like, I don't think you should have come. He's not like, maybe we could do this. There's no, like, longing look in his eye. He doesn't kiss her. Like, he stays as distant from it to say, like, I just have a bad feeling about this.
I think what he's doing is waiting to see which way the wind blows.
Okay.
And I think by the time she goes, okay, I'm going to get rid of Jake and transport him out of here, because we all know that you're a good guy and you're going to help us, like that. I think that had she survived this thing, it would have definitely been on the table. Like, Sisko is certainly someone who gives people. Listen, you're glossing over the most important part of the episode. The goth hottie Dabo girls.
Okay.
When he goes to see Jake, like, Jake's not, I mean, like, we brought him here, but he's not kidnapped. He's not sitting in the basement with a bag on his head tied up. Like, he's down at Nog's. Rom and Quark turned out to both be little patriots, real ones, and got executed. Nog inherited everything, and he is a real piece of shit. But he has choice top shelf goth Dabo hotties who, I think, as far as exploitive Ferengi arm candy goes, like, we've reached the top of the mountain. Okay.
They are, shall we say, in pseudo BDSM looking, sort of like strappy.
Yes. Sign me up.
It's straight up what you would expect the Dabo girls of the Mirror Universe to be in. We'll put it that way.
I bet you Halloween parties in the Mirror Universe are fucking wild. That's where I would like to go for a destination vacation, is a Mirror Universe Halloween party. That's all I'll say on that one. Kira is still knocking around.
Yes.
Speaking of hotties.
So Kira, who is captured, but apparently they just kept her in their skin tight intendant outfit, because
even let her keep her crown.
Why not? Sisko encounters her first in the hallway while Bashir is making a point of just, like, torturing her with a neuralizer device, and eventually kind of breaks that up to say, like, I'm still an enlightened Federation man. I'm not going to allow you to torture anybody. Kira has not changed. She is still the sexy Mirror Universe vampire lady, essentially. Just still trying to run that game however she possibly can.
I love that she's still a deep character, though, because as Sisko's trying to manipulate her into cooperating and giving them something to buy them time, he's like, you need to play on our team, because Garrick escaped, and I guarantee you Garrick threw your ass under the bus, and when the cavalry shows up, you are going to be shot down with the rest of us, if not worse, because this guy doesn't like you, and you are in very real danger. Your HR policies over there, not great. Okay. So, and she's like, it's not my fault it failed. It was these other guys and their wide spectrum violence and brutality. Like, violence has to be a scalpel. It needs to be meaningful. And, like, the amount of Restraint, she did. I mean, even though she's still this monster, like, she was the best that station could have hoped for. She did push back against just mass executions. She
Right.
was genuinely wounded when Smiley defected because she's like, I cut you so many breaks. You had a good life as far as, being a slave person at a dump could be. And they're able to touch on that just long enough to like remind you she's not two-dimensional.
She certainly saw the value in ensuring that you couldn't engage in wanton, unlimited cruelty. You had to manage the place. She's a lot like Ducat in that way.
Wow. That would have been the fucking order, like, make this female Ducat. Oh, Jesus.
Kind of is. I really think about it. Which it makes sense for this whole she's the mirror universe version of Kira. And what is the thing that Kira is like? Probably the darkest part of her is a lot like Ducat, which is why they feel so connected. So like
there's a showmanship.
There's no mirror Ducat because mirror Ducat is Kira.
There's a showmanship element. Get rid of the sexy cat suits.
But loves fucking. Like Ducat also be fucking.
Very playful with the enemy and willing to talk even under duress.
Sees herself as the better option for the oppressed and is, managing them better than the supposed cruelty others would inflict on them.
Mm-hmm. I'm not seeing anything that doesn't line up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's just true. I think we nailed it. I think that she's just Ducat.
I'm surprised. I mean, how did we not see that before? And is that something that's talked about in the greater fandom from what you've seen?
This is the first time I've ever...
We've discovered it. We're like...
I'm sure someone else has had this thought, but I've had this thought independently.
We invented it. And if you ever hear anybody else liken Mirror Universe Kira to Ducat, I better see a fucking royalty check in the mail.
Absolutely. 100%.
You hear me lower decks? You hear me lower decks? Okay. We invented this.
One side note, the timing of this lines up in terms of when this was produced and when it had occurred, but there's when Nog busts her out of jail, it becomes more obvious that Nana Vister is actually pregnant at this point. That the outfit she's in leaves nothing to the imagination. There's kind of a clear bump starting to form.
Here's my notes on that. It's after Garrick getting stabbed was just simply Kira's hot as fuck. I did not notice that she was pregnant. Like,
because I think I was looking for it. So this was shot right around March of 1996. She gives birth in September of 1996. So like it's all coming together that it's probably at this point something they couldn't completely hide if they're going to put her in skin tight outfits. The production staff knows this is Siddiq Al Faisal's baby, as we've discussed. Like they are romantically linked. So there is actually going to be. They're not going to go the route that they went with Gates McFadden or with Roxanne Dawson and hide it. They're going to make it part of the plot. That is to come. You'll see how they make it part of the plot. But yeah, this is I think where you can finally actually see for the first time like she's got a little Bashir in her. For real. They couldn't keep their hands off each other, don't you know? That Our Man Bashir episode was foretelling things to come.
Or that did come.
Got him.
There you go. Kira acquiesces to Sisko's pleas. Hey, turns out you can juke our sensors very easily. And that's what Bashir does. He goes off in a resistance fighter and plays some sensor tricks and gets Worf's armada or Worf's task force, which again, like that's the rickety bridge in this episode is the response of the Alliance to deep space to Tarek Nor falling. The amount of time that they actually had to build a ship and just this whole response for what appeared to be a pretty important area. He buys him a little bit extra time. Things continue to progress between Jen and Sisko to the point where here's another exact quote out of my notes is, I hope Jen lives.
Oh, damn. So Nog, who we've only seen briefly and firmly establishes he's the antithesis of our Nog, does not like Jake. Very much not even like the mirror versions of Quark and Rom, who were, as you said, patriots, and is like wholeheartedly like a money grubbing,
Bitch.
Ferengi. Not only takes this to the extreme of just being kind of an asshole, he springs Kira from jail explicitly because you murdered my uncle and my father, therefore I inherited the bar, therefore I'm doing you this solid. And gets her a shuttle.
Which is very un-Ferengi too. Like I'm pretty sure there's no rules of acquisition that go say thank you.
Maybe he just likes tall goth bitches, and Kara just gives that off.
Hey, listen, man, I'm there. All right. Who does not like tall goth bitches is Blinky. So the guy that Sisko, or that they leave guarding the cell that she is in, is the same guy that was part of evil Sisko's crew that has his eye gouged out, right?
Correct.
And he got in a fight with some Klingons or something, because this guy, like, they were friendly to Tarek Noor. She knows exactly who he is. And
there's a great line where she's trying to seduce him.
She's like, hey, I'm sure bored in here. You want to come in for some raunchy jail sex? And he's like, you ordered my wife's execution. And she lights up and she goes, I was hoping you were married. And it's like, damn. That's a whole new spin on delete the wife, huh? Move over Janeway. Wow.
Kira playing this game on hardcore mode.
She is going for that full renegade status.
But yeah, Nog, like, first of all, like, Nog knocks the fuck out of Blinky, like, with a plate, like, just like whap whap, done. Grabs his phaser, and I guess like some Ferengi are just really good at beating up security guards, as we know from Voyager, and blows up in the door, says, I owe you for all of the solids you did me for killing my family members. Let me get you out of here. And of course, like, goes and like says, all right, farewell. I won't let anyone know where you are. Good luck to you. And then Kira just kind of has that moment of like, oh yeah, you know what? Actually, and then just shoots him dead. Like, now no one will know where I am. Peace. Very evil villain turn.
It was, and again, if I'm gonna punch the script up, hey, you know what? Your uncle was actually good. You're a piece of shit. Bam.
I don't respect you the way I respected your uncle.
You are trash. If only you were a little bit more like your uncle, maybe I would have let you live. Boom.
Like, I do like that one Ferengi died in basically every Mirror Universe episode.
Yeah. And I was, unlike the other two times, I was very happy to see Nog die, because Rom and Quark, it was those were good dudes.
Yeah. Like, especially Rom. Like, Rom died poorly.
Like, yeah, he got impaled to the fucking wall. So Jennifer has basically cemented herself as a good person. She has fully bought into the promise of, or the lure of, a better tomorrow. And she has told Sisko, hey, the bad guys are closer than we thought. Let's not roll the dice on Jake. I'm going to send him back over. We know you're going to finish this thing, but you know, it's all face value. You're not our prisoner. He's not our prisoner. And this is foolish for us to keep him here. I'm going to move him over. And then I think that's where Sisko's like, okay, maybe there's a path forward for us. Like, I'm still going to play it cold right now, just because you never know around here what's going to happen last minute. She goes back to get Jake and walk him off. And unfortunately, this is about the same time that Kira is now roaming the halls with Disruptor.
In, an act that makes all the sense in the world, Kira gonna heartlessly execute Jake, not knowing who he is. And Jennifer steps in front of it. Not gonna allow it. Not allow you to kill my son. Moment. Payoff is perfect, right? Like, of everything that we've seen in the episode between them. Jake, very brave guy. No chill on him. He's like, fine, kill me too, I guess. Like, this is the guy who like pulled O'Brien out of the plasma thing. Like, he's got the he might not be a Starfleet officer, but he does have the Sisko bravery trait. Like, no quit in this guy. And ultimately, Kira does figure out who he is and decides, okay, you know what? Your dad let me free. Like, your dad's done some solids for me and not killing me. So I'm not going to kill you because you're his son. But I'm going to collect on that at some point, and you better tell him that that's the case. I kind of get that because clearly Kira at this point sees value in having some sort of connection to Sisko, and like maybe even knows if I kill his son, I'm probably just going to get murdered by him. Like, as this killing Jennifer Sisko, it's not his Jennifer Sisko, it's my Jennifer Sisko. It's not actually his wife. Probably getting away with that one. But if I kill Jake, that man is going to just live here until I die. So, I'm going to phrase it like I'm doing him a solid or something. But like at the same time, like, I don't need that heat. That motherfucker would absolutely wreck me.
Speaking of absolutely wrecking Mirror Universe ass, Sisko is now like, all right, I'm really going to put the old college try in to get this Defiant up. Jennifer has proven herself to be good, and I'm already kind of keen on these other humans who I've goaded into an insurrection. And the bad guys are coming, and I'm already kind of pissed with the fucking Klingons, so fuck those guys. And, all right, well, kind of be cool if I could see what the Defiant really does, like just really let this thing sing, but I gotta get out of here. And then Smiley's like, okay, what's this button do? And he's like, oh, okay, fine, just twist my arm, put a gun to my head. It's very clearly like
not putting a gun to your head. Like,
it's very clearly like, okay, my son is gone. He's left Westworld.
I'm here by myself. They're in the no-rule zone?
As he's unbuttoning his pants and pulling them down. Oh, look what just turned into a vacation.
I really liked the little space battle sequence they built here because they show more of the Defiant's like capability of like it maneuvers, it gets into position, it's able to utilize its extremely strong forward firepower to destroy vessels, that's what it's supposed to do. And like flying in between the pillars and using the station as cover. The fact that like O'Brien doesn't know like what certain terms mean, he has to explain like evasive pattern delta. What does that mean? You juke her, all right? Like you go hard to port and then starboard. It's like that's what that means.
Means get out of the seat. I'm driving.
And then he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna just bingo this giant mirror universe version of the Negvar and start blowing up all of its gun emplacements. And
he's like, pattern delta means, did you ever play TIE Fighter? Where's that? Give me that CH flight stick. Computer?
manual steering column, computer.
Give me the Riker stick, please. Oh, no, wait, hold on. The Riker joystick for controlling the vessel, not the holodeck. Watching the Defiant zip around like an X-Wing, knowing how they pilot these things, like, it's cool. It does its thing. Again, it makes the whole idea that Worf could have been commanding the Defiant in the courtroom episode and they didn't just fucking blow up both those birds of prey like that. I'm sorry, the D800 cruiser and the bird of prey, like stupid, whatever. But they shithouse all these ships to the point where Slave Garrick, who is now wearing the Leia bikini, has to be like, hey, do you want to talk about Mirror Universe Worf at all? Is there anything really?
He's like cartoonish bad guy. Like, he says make it so at one point. He's like,
I love that when they're gonna leave. Did they put a fat suit on him?
I don't think so. It's just the bulky kind of Klingon stuff.
I kind of like the idea that he's a big fat ass, that like, you know, he's kind of this Kempeckish figure, and that instead of being like this high discipline idealized warrior who is training and living by the code, that like he has grown up in Klingon society. You know, the Khitomer massacre never happened. He grew up a full son of Moog, and that, you know, he's just given into corrupt excess and all the stuff that we normally levy against Klingons. It would have been cool if Kern was in here too, but I get you don't just have Tony Todd money laying around.
Yeah, you've already hit that twice. You don't have 3 in you.
Sorry, we don't have any more in the season in our Todd budget for this year. And then, you know, Julian shows up and they're both flying around doing TIE fighter shit. And yeah, like you got the big Negvar cruiser and you can't keep up with the small target flying around. You're getting rocked. And that ultimately, what's the thing you never hear out of Worf's mouth? If we're going to keep going on this like mirror universe Worf, when Garrick's like, we should get out of here. He's not like, actually, today is a good day to die. We're going down with the ship, like, which would absolutely be what Worf would do.
But Worf is a bit of a coward. He wants to live and he wants to rationalize his failure, and that's what he does instead.
And he's got someone to blame.
Worf never does.
Mm-hmm. So this is where he should have transported treasonous Jadzia off and escaped, but I get it. Off they go, and by the end, Sisko joins Jake in sickbay, where we're going to lose Jennifer, which hit me hard, right? Like that was, I thought, a very earned emotional moment there.
It was.
It was a nice job of the show yet again taking things away from Ben Sisko and reinforcing like this is the way it has to be.
There's a certain amount of destiny to Ben Sisko that has been slowly reinforced in a way that adds to the meta plot of the story. And you know, he goes in and you know, her last words are to him about their connection, which he confirms. Like it's hard, it's undeniable that we are, that what you felt was real. And you know, he's there for her at the end because she did sacrifice her life for his son. Maybe, you know, again, it's going all the way back to Farrell's idea that this is sort of like a psychic reflection of the Prime universe. You know, it's like kind of is your son. You know, not in the way that you gave birth to him, but in a way that you would feel this undeniable presence that he is. And in a way, it gives Ben Sisko the opportunity to do what he never got to do, which is kind of be there for his wife when she passed. Like when you think back to the opening of Emissary, you know, that's why he's raging, right? He can't get to her, can't save her, can't even be there. Maybe she's already dead. Maybe she's lingering. Who knows? Because the ship's going to blow up and they have to go. This time, you saved my son's life, your son's life. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm here. And they finally get to mourn her properly. And that's when they leave the episode. It's just perfect.
She also gets, you know, he gets to see his wife die a meaningful death, because the Borg attack was meaningless violence. And that's always been a hard thing for the Federation to cope with the Borg, is that it's all so much meaningless, senseless violence from a cold, dispassionate enemy. And, you know, that's a hard, you know, it's a car accident, basically. Like, you know, her making the choice to self-sacrifice to protect his son. Like, what a great hero's death. What a great way to kind of revisit this trauma and have a way to put an ointment of some sort on there.
And you can, and it's also, it's over now, right? Like, you don't, Jennifer Sisko never shows up again in any form because she shouldn't. Her presence through the mirror universe has served its purpose to the story and to the characters. And it, you know, it's why I think I'm so warm on this episode overall, is just, this is finally closing the door on a trauma that's defined Sisko's life up to this point. And now he can actually move on, right? He can build a new life because now he doesn't have this lingering regret over how his wife passed.
And we end the scene. I had to go back and check the memory alpha. I was like, dude, wait, was this like, I've never seen a Frakes shot used without Jonathan Frakes in the director's chair.
Oh yeah, real high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, zooming out high. Very interesting.
Zooming over to The Muse next, season 4, episode 21. This is going to be a story by Renee Echeverria and Michelle Barrett Roddenberry. What?
Yeah.
Hella Prey by Renee Echeverria. Oh, well, she's right there in the fucking thumbnail. Okay. David Livingston. The mysterious woman helps Jake write a novel. Loxana Troy, pregnant with the son, asks Odo to help her escape her husband. Is this...
You have a suspicious look on your face.
Well, it's a Loxana Troy episode, which has been in Deep Space Nine pretty rewarding in the past, but it's still a Loxana Troy episode, which can be pretty bad too.
Which Michelle Barrett helped write.
Yeah. And I'm looking at this other picture in here, and I see Jake Sisko with the Muse, and boy, if that doesn't look like Seska touching his head.
It's not. It's
Damn!
not. Yeah, I know. But this is one of those episodes that everyone like is down on that I'm not sure I'm going to have the same opinion of upon rewatching because I've been so pro Loxana overall. I wonder if her continued showing up here is going to warm the cockles of my heart the way that it has the last couple times, and it might be warmer on this than the mean average. But we'll see. We'll find out together here next week on Future Please. Thank you to all of you who have discovered us recently. And if you would like to join our community of folks that talk in between episode releases, you may do so by emailing me at futureplease@gmail.com. Get you into the Discord. Also, we have a Facebook group. If you're that kind of person who wants to be part of that, happily we'll get you invited to it. And always welcome to see your interactions, whether they're likes, comments, shares, or subscriptions to wherever it is that you would like to listen to us, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. All of that interaction always very helpful towards us making sure that the show continues to grow. So my thanks to all of you, and we will see you next week.